Parshas Balak, Tavshin Ayin Dalet. Once again, we're coming to you from the friendly confines of the world headquarters of Shiur Shalom of Lakewood, the home of some of the biggest tzaddikim that I know. And a lot of them are sitting in this room right now. I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Shiur. We're happy to be back. We have a very special thing tonight also. We once again began our Southside Sandwich Shop. Cholent made its return tonight. It was in Golos for a few weeks, but now it made its way back and made its way over to Shiur Shalom, and everybody's being treated to a special Southside Cholent tonight. And again, we're looking forward to one day when we'll all get back together. I know we always say get back together in Yerushalayim, but of course we'll all get back together Thursday nights in the Southside Sandwich Shop. And we thank Shiur Shalom for their hospitality once again. This week, of course, everything that went on in anyone's life this week was overshadowed by the tragedy that took place in Eretz Yisrael, where, unfortunately, the three boys that last week, at the time of the Shiur, we mentioned that they were, of course, looking for these three boys, and unfortunately, this week, the tragic news came across that these three boys had been murdered by a few animals. And there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to think about. We're going to try to say a shiur that will give us a little bit of a lesson, something that we can take out, of this horrible episode that the entire Klal Yisrael just went through over the last 2 or 3 weeks. The Pasuk says in this week's Parsha, Vayar es Yisrael. We have the entire inyan of Bilam and Balak, and everybody's familiar with what happened, that Bilam was hired out to, quote, to curse Klal Yisrael, and of course he wasn't able to do anything because it was not the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu was that Bilam should give Klal Yisrael a bracha. And one of the psukim during this parsha says, Vayaris Yisrael, he saw Klal Yisrael, Shoichein Lishvotav. Klal Yisrael was dwelling, was camping, was living, divided by their shvatim. And then the pasuk says, Vatihi olav ruach Elokim. This is what Bilam saw. Bilam saw the way Klal Yisrael was situated in their camp, and then right away the pasuk says that there was a ruach Elokim that was on Bilam. Bilam saw that Klal Yisrael was camped together. The Nesivos Shalom says a very important point here. He says something which is a lesson and something that everybody needs to know for life. That he says that the entire koyach of the Satan, the entire koyach that the Satan has, is only on a yochid. It's a very big statement, but you're going to see, we're going to bring a few rayos now, and it will become understandable. The Satan only has koyach when it comes to a yochid, and not a rabbin. Someone who keeps themselves attached to Klal Yisrael, someone that keeps himself together with Klal Yisrael, and he avoids, the Nesivos Shalom says, he avoids lots and lots of problems and lots of troubles. So Bilam saw over here that Klal Yisrael was k'ish echad b'leiv echad. Klal Yisrael was as one. And even Bilam understood at that moment when he saw that no kolola could be shorted on Klal Yisrael. And then, as soon as Bilam saw that, you see the pasuk says right away in the same pasuk, Vatihi olav ruach Elokim. Bilam saw that, a ruach Elokim was bestowed on Bilam right there, and then he gave them a bracha. And that is also pshat that says in the Nesivos Shalom in the pasuk in this week's parsha also. The pasuk says, Lehibit oven b'Yaakov. Many of you know it from this parsha. Many know it from, we say it in the davening on Rosh Hashanah, Lehibit oven b'Yaakov v'loy ra'ah amo b'Yisrael. And the Nesivos Shalom takes that in his pasuk. When does HaKadosh Baruch Hu not see Averos by Klal Yisrael? Lehibit oven b'Yaakov. When we're together as Yaakov. And when does HaKadosh Baruch Hu not see Oven? When does HaKadosh Baruch Hu not see iniquities in Klal Yisrael? That is also when we're as Yisrael. So Lehibit Oven when b'Yaakov, V'loi ra'ah amal, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't see, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't see iniquities in Yaakov, and He doesn't see amal bi Yisrael, when we're together as one, when we are as Klal Yisrael. And then the pasuk ends, Hashem is always with us. When we're together, the pasuk right away says, Hashem Elokav imay. Chazal tell us also on another pasuk in this week's Parsha, Ma toivu oyalecha Yaakov mishken oisecha Yisrael. Again, we're all familiar with this pasuk. The Nesivos Shalom says, and he brings down that Chazal tell us that what is called oyalecha Yaakov, what is this pasuk referring to? It's referring to the Batei Knesiyos Ubatei Midrashas of Klal Yisrael. That's oyalecha Yaakov. Those are the places of Achdus. Those are the places we get together. We get together to daven. We get together and learn. And with that koyach, nothing can affect us. This specifically is what Bilam wanted to destroy, says in Nesivos Shalom. It is exactly this point. It is exactly this thing that Bilam wanted to destroy. Bilam said, you know what? Let each individual person, let it be a tzaddik, let them do things, unbelievable things. Let's learn Torah, do chesed, everything, but do it as individuals. Don't let them do things together. Don't make a bikur cholim. Don't have everybody with his achdus and everybody gets together, because then there's too much power. Then there's a power of Klal Yisrael that no one could defeat. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then we have this eitzah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us this eitzah of Matoivu Oyalecha Yaakov, but it wasn't just an eitzah then that Bilam can't curse Klal Yisrael. Matoivu Oyalecha Yaakov is a lesson for all generations. A place to stay together. A way for Klal Yisrael always to stay together, and therefore, not only in the time of Bilam, in our times too, for all times, you stay together, you're mevatel all the klalos. We see, at the end of this week's Parsha, there's an episode of Baal Pa'ar and Bnei Moav, a few negative things that Klal Yisrael did. And the Parsha tells us that 24,000 people died in this plague at the end of the Parsha for doing these averas of the Bnei Moav and Baal Pa'ar. 24,000 people died. The Nesivos Shalom says an unbelievable chiddush. Nesivos Shalom wants to say that each of these 24,000 people who died, each and every one of them were people who were separated from Klal Yisrael. They were people, because we just said a whole shiur on that, the Satan doesn't have a koyach over Rabbim, only on the Yochid. So what happened here? 24,000 people died. Nesivos Shalom says that each and every one of these 24,000 people that died did not have a protection. They each were people who separated from Klal Yisrael. And he brings down, okay, you have to get this a little bit deep now, brings down, the Arizal says, in the Sefer HaGilgulim, and normally we don't discuss such Kabbalistic things, but the Sefer HaGilgulim is brought down that the 24,000, same number, right? The 24,000 Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva, who were nifter. Why? Because Shalai Noagu covered Zebazet. They did not have covered one for the other. These 24,000 people were Gilgulim of the neshamas of these 24,000 people who died in the Magefa of Baal Pa'ar. See, they were the same number, 24,000, they are Gilgulim. So you're going to ask, really, what's the connection? The Chet in the Midbar was Avodah Zarah. The Chet was relations with Bnei Moav.